Hey there, how are you? Welcome to Prog Monster. My name's Murph. I'm the host of this show. So today we're going to be doing a look back album. I've done quite a few of them now. If you haven't seen some of them and you want to see more, you can look at my discography, you'll see that. Anyways, today we're doing a look back to an album that I loved almost immediately and I still love. I still listen to it a lot, although not as much because I haven't had a car for a few years. Lost the engine in my vehicle and decided to do more biking because my leg needs to get a lot more work on it. Anyways, but this was one of my, if not the most listened to album I have in my car, and I played it all the time. So much so that the first disc of, well, I had an album form. The album I gave all my albums to my sister when I left home when I was younger. It went with it, and then I bought it in CD, and I actually lost the first CD, and then I replaced it and wore that album out like it was too scratched up from leaving it in the car too much, and so I bought another copy of it, which I have here. And when I sold my car, I actually forgot the copy. I forgot the album part. I have the disc here, the cover, but I don't have the album now because it's gone missing. It was in that car, I believe. Or at very worst, it was in the stereo I got rid of. One or the other. Anyways, we're talking about legendary guitarist Ace Frehley from Kiss. Maybe my first real rock hero. He wasn't the one that initially got me into Kiss. It was the outstandingly bombastic actions of Gene Simmons that drew me to the group and kept me there for a while. But over time I began to like Ace Frehley because he's not so egotistical. Fantastic guitar player, and I really related a lot to the makeup and the whole spaceman genre type of thing. It's just incredible, a very good musician in a band that you can't say that much about. That way. Anyways, so this album, Ace Frehley solo. In 1978, Kiss released a landmark thing. They released all four of them, released solo albums at the same time under the Kiss label, which is up here in the corner. No other band had ever done that. You know, people had released solo albums. The Beatles, you know, they all released solo albums, but at different times and under their own names. But this, I believe, was easily the best of the four solo albums, and I do like the Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Peter Criss albums in various degrees. But this particular album is just so much better than them. It sounded the most like a Kiss album. The other thing about it, it's well produced. Ace, and he got Eddie Kramer to produce this with him, and the tracks on here are great, man. I love every track on this album. Even some of the ones who I don't love as much are still good tracks. You know, like there's no real bad track on here. Sorry, I'm just getting my paperwork out here. Okay, so this album was released according to Wikipedia. It was released on September the 18th, 1978. That seems about right. Beginning of school year, my grade 8 year. Again, it was produced by Ace Frehley and Eddie Kramer. And it was produced at the mansion in Sharon, Connecticut. Now, I'm assuming that was his home. That would make sense. There was a host of musicians that played various bits and pieces on the album. The most notable person was Anton Fig from, I think he was from the David Letterman group band. Very good drummer, like Ace just wanted the best drummer he could find, and that was the one that he chose, and he didn't choose badly there. Ace plays mostly every other instrument on the album, a little guitar, some acoustic guitar, some bass. I think he even plays a little bit of keyboards too. I'm not sure, and he does all the vocals, of course. Wrote most of the material on here. There's a few people that helped him in a few songs, and of course the Russ. Is it Russ Ballard? Is it Russ Ballard track? Let me see here. I believe it is. Yeah, Russ Ballard, that New York Groove. That was by Russ Ballard, and it was the only hit from the 4 solo albums, and Ace had it, which probably pissed off some of the other members. But you know, he just produced something mesmerizing. I always wish that he could have produced something else after that, but I can't even tell you if he did, because for some reason, even though I love this album and I listened to it quite a bit, I just never went out and got any other Ace Frehley stuff. I'm not even sure why that happened. It just hasn't happened. Anyways, you know, you look at the tracks here, like Rip It Out is one of my favorite Kiss songs of all time. Love that song. Just, it's so pounding right from the beginning, you know, so heavy. The whole album's pretty heavy. It's a pretty heavy album overall. Very spacey type songs too, which, you know, shouldn't really surprise me. Snowblind, Ozone, I Need Your Love. Those are all kind of a spacey type. What's on Your Mind is a track that some people have said they don't really care for, but it's probably my second favorite track after Rip It Out on here. I really like that song a lot. New York Groove, I don't dislike the song. It's kind of catchy, but not really my cup of tea. But, you know, Ace does, I hate to say it, but he does better versions of the covers that he does than the originals did. Even that Stone song they did on Dynasty, I think he did a better job of it than Mick Jagger did. I don't know, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble there. But and then, of course, you know, there's a few weaker tracks, and I wouldn't even say they're weaker. They're just not my favorite, like Speeding Back to My Baby and Wiped Out. I don't care for them as much. Sorry, need a drink here. And then there's, of course, the Merry Melancholy. How do you say that? It's kind of a melancholy song. But it so gets right inside of you, and that's the instrumental, which was Fractured Mirror. I know he's done some other Fractured this and Fractured that, but this is just such a good song, man. Anyways, not only is this my favorite of the solo albums, it's probably one of my favorite Kiss albums. Maybe my favorite studio album by Kiss. The only one that probably beats this is the Alive album, because it was my first ever album. But anyways, there you have it. Ace Frehley. Shock me. No. Ace Frehley, solo album. A classic. A master album. One of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you want me to do more, if you want me to do the other solo albums, I'll do them as well. Anyways, let me know if you like this video, and if you subscribe and tell me you like this, I'll do more of this kind of stuff. Anyways, so this is Prog Monster signing out. You have a good day.